Love, in its purest form, is one of the most profound forces in the world. It has the ability to transform people, shift perspectives, and create bonds so strong that they transcend time and circumstance. Yet, while love is something deeply felt and often impossible to fully articulate, there are behaviors and actions that speak louder than words. The sea is the one that communicates the transformation that requires words. The sea is the one that communicates the transformation. Men in particular demonstrate their love in unique ways. Ways that reflect not only their feelings, but also their understanding of responsibility, commitment, and the deeper aspects of human connection. When a man loves deeply, he knows that love is not just an emotion, but a verb. It requires effort, it requires sacrifice, and it requires intentionality. Love isn't passive, it is active, deliberate, and often tested by life's inevitable challenges. So what are the things that men do for the true love of their lives? What actions, thoughts, and behaviors characterize the love that goes beyond surface-level affection and dives into something more profound? First, they demonstrate their willingness to protect, not out of a need to control, but out of a deep desire to ensure safety, stability, and well-being. This is not just physical protection, though that certainly plays a role. A man's desire to protect also extends to emotional, psychological, and even spiritual well-being. In a world rife with uncertainties, there is a certain comfort that comes from knowing someone will stand firm beside you, guard your peace, and defend your heart against harm. But this protection is not domineering. Rather, it is grounded in respect and understanding of boundaries. True love doesn't seek to dominate or suppress, it seeks to uplift and empower. This protective instinct is often one of the first indicators of genuine affection. It shows that a man values not only his partner's safety, but also their ability to thrive, to live with purpose, and to follow their own path in life. Protecting love means providing the space for each person to grow while creating an environment in which that growth can flourish. In terms of behavioral psychology, this fanatical relatedness goes far beyond self-protection. For example, it means standing beside someone during their struggles, defending their dignity in the face of adversity, and offering a constant, unshakable presence when the world seems unpredictable. Second, men often show their love through sacrifice. Sacrifice is both large and small. Love requires the ability to put someone else's needs above your own at times, not out of obligation, but because you understand that this act is a way to strengthen the bond between you and demonstrate the depth of your commitment. Men may sacrifice time, resources, and personal aspirations to ensure that their partner's needs are met, whether that be emotionally, financially, or in terms of practical support. This is not to say that sacrifices are always made with ease, but it is the understanding that love often calls for selflessness and the ability to put another person's well-being on par with, or sometimes ahead of, one's own desires. This kind of sacrifice might be seen in a man working tirelessly to provide for his partner and family, or in him making difficult decisions that prioritize his loved one's happiness or stability. Sacrifice in love often means choosing the difficult path because it is the right one for both individuals. It could mean sacrificing time with friends to be present for a partner going through a difficult phase, or putting aside one's own professional goals to support the dreams and aspirations of the one you love. True love does not count the cost of sacrifice, but sees it as an investment in the future of the relationship, knowing that every small act of giving strengthens the foundation of that love. Third, a man who truly loves is someone who listens, actively listens. In a world filled with distractions and noise, genuine listening is becoming an increasingly rare skill. But for a man who is committed to his partner, listening is not just about hearing words. It is about understanding the emotions, the unspoken needs, and the deeper layers of what is being shared. It is about being present, offering undivided attention and engaging in meaningful conversation that goes beyond surface-level interactions. To listen is to engage with the other person's world in a way that shows you value their experiences, their thoughts, and their feelings. It requires patience and empathy, and often it requires restraint. The ability to hold back your own opinions and advice long enough to fully absorb what the other person is expressing. True listening fosters a deep connection and builds trust, as it shows the other person that their voice matters and their emotional state is a priority. In a relationship where love is genuine, the act of listening isn't confined to moments of crisis or intense conversation. It becomes an ongoing practice of mutual understanding. It means remembering small details from previous conversations, recalling significant dates, and offering support even in the quiet moments when no words are spoken. Listening in this context is a demonstration of respect and love, as it reveals that you care enough to know the other person deeply and intimately. Fourth, a man who is deeply in love is often someone who strives to improve, both for himself and for the relationship. Love, at its best, compels growth. It challenges individuals to become better versions of themselves, not because they are inadequate, but because they recognize that self-improvement enhances the partnership. A man who loves deeply will not stagnate in his own personal development. He will continuously seek to grow, both in terms of his own potential and in the way he interacts with his partner. This growth can take many forms. It could mean working on communication skills to better express feelings, or actively seeking personal counseling to address unresolved issues. It might involve cultivating patience, learning to be more emotionally available, or taking time to reflect on how his actions impact those around him. At times, this desire for self-improvement may manifest in the form of taking on new challenges, broadening intellectual horizons, or even seeking new experiences that open the heart and mind to new possibilities. But growth also extends to the relationship itself. A man who is truly invested in love will not just see the relationship as static or something to maintain, but rather something to nurture, develop, and evolve. This means making efforts to strengthen the bond, deepen the connection, and ensure that both individuals feel fulfilled, heard, and valued in the relationship. Growth in love involves learning to navigate conflicts more constructively, deepening mutual respect, and finding new ways to express affection and appreciation as time goes on. Fifth, perhaps one of the most powerful and enduring things a man can do for the love of his life is to remain faithful, both in terms of loyalty and in his commitment to the shared future they are building together. Faithfulness is not merely the avoidance of infidelity, but encompasses an unwavering commitment to the partnership in its entirety. Seventh, marriage is not simply a mediation of sex or a process. It is also the commitment to the partnership in its entirety. It is a promise to remain engaged, to continue working on the relationship, and to honor the commitments made, regardless of the obstacles that may arise. Faithfulness is about consistency. It's about showing up every day, even when things are difficult, even when the initial excitement of the relationship may have waned. Faithfulness means being there through both the triumphs and the challenges, never wavering in the decision to stand beside the person you love. It also means prioritizing the emotional and relational aspects of the relationship, giving it the attention, care, and effort it deserves to thrive. And in a world where distractions are abundant and the temptation for fleeting pleasures is ever present, faithfulness can sometimes be misinterpreted or even underestimated. But true faithfulness is a steadfastness in purpose. It is the dedication to nurturing a connection with another person over time, not based on convenience, but on a deep and abiding trust in the bond shared. Through protection, sacrifice, listening, self-improvement, and faithfulness, a man's love becomes something that goes beyond simple affection or desire. It becomes a commitment to both the individual and the relationship, a constant effort to nurture, protect, and grow alongside someone with whom a deep connection has been established. And love, in its truest form, is not something that fades or withers under pressure, but something that deepens and matures over time, supported by the actions that speak louder than words. These 5 things: protection, sacrifice, listening, self-improvement, and faithfulness, are not the exhaustive list of how men demonstrate love, but they are some of the most essential elements that shape the foundation of a meaningful, lasting relationship. A man who is truly in love will exhibit these behaviors not because he is expected to, but because he has come to understand that love is more than a feeling. It is a responsibility, a privilege, and a profound opportunity to create something beautiful and enduring. Say Burbinger, true love is not passive. It demands protection, sacrifice, listening, and continuous personal growth. A man shows his love through deliberate actions that prioritize his partner's well-being and foster a deeper connection over time. Men demonstrate their love by making sacrifices, whether in time, resources, or personal ambitions. These sacrifices are investments in the relationship, showing a commitment to the partner's happiness and the future of the shared connection. Men, true love is marked by unwavering loyalty and faithfulness, not only in avoiding infidelity, but also in consistently showing up for the partner, prioritizing the relationship, and nurturing the bond despite challenges. Love, as an emotion, is often glorified as a powerful, transformative force that comes naturally. We see it depicted in art, literature, music, and cinema, where it is often portrayed as something purely instinctual, something that happens to us beyond our control. However, in reality, love requires much more than just feeling an emotion. It demands effort, attention, and action. Genuine, lasting love is not merely an experience to be passively enjoyed. It is something that must be actively cultivated and nurtured over time. When we say love requires active effort, what we are truly recognizing is that love, to thrive, must be worked on consistently. It is not enough to love someone once and then expect the relationship to continue flourishing on its own. It's not about a grand singular moment of love, but about continuously showing up, day in and day out, for the person you love and for the relationship you are building together. Each moment offers a choice to actively engage with love through actions, words, and intentions. As we intentionally cultivate love, we create space for it to grow stronger. One of the most important aspects of love requiring effort is the recognition that love is a verb, something that you do, not just something you feel. When someone loves, they don't merely think about their partner or feel affection towards them. They take action. They show their love through the things they do every single day. It might be something as simple as asking about their day and truly listening to their response. Or it might be as grand as sacrificing personal dreams for the sake of the relationship's future. Every act of love, no matter how small, is an effort that strengthens the connection between two people. The effort that love requires is most apparent when relationships are tested. While it may be easy to love during moments of joy or when everything is going according to plan, true love is revealed during moments of difficulty. When faced with challenges, whether it be conflict, stress, or a crisis, love demands that both people involved take responsibility for the relationship's health. For troubles in the marriage, for sex, with sexual violence, for example, rather than withdrawing or pointing fingers, active love requires that both partners come together, confront the issue at hand, and work through it as a team. In these difficult times, love demands patience. It requires that one partner set aside their immediate feelings of frustration or anger to listen to the other's perspective. In these moments, Showing love means making the conscious choice to remain engaged in the process of understanding, no matter how uncomfortable or challenging that might be. Rather than letting resentment build, love calls for openness, compromise, and a commitment to finding solutions together. One of the most significant forms of active effort in love is the effort to understand. Love cannot truly thrive unless both individuals understand each other at a deeper level. This understanding requires not just listening to what the other person says, but also hearing what they are not saying. This is why marriage is such a metaphor for life. If one person can listen to what the other is saying, it means recognizing subtle shifts in mood, noticing when something is wrong even when the other person doesn't directly speak about it, and being attuned to emotional needs beyond just the surface level. This kind of understanding involves the constant effort to learn about your partner, about their likes, dislikes, dreams, fears, and values. It's easy to love someone when things are smooth, but it's the effort to continue learning about each other that sustains love over time. People change, circumstances change. As such, what a person needs or desires from a relationship can shift as well. In any long-term connection, both individuals must actively engage in the process of understanding each other's evolving selves. But sometimes, relationships must be approached solely within the context of political organization. Alongside understanding is the effort to communicate effectively. Effective communication is often cited as one of the most important aspects of a successful relationship, and rightly so. Without communication, there can be no clarity, no resolution, and no progress. Yet, communication is not always easy. Misunderstandings happen, emotions run high, and personal insecurities can cloud our ability to articulate our true feelings. In these moments, love requires active effort, the effort to speak openly, honestly, and respectfully, even when the conversation might be uncomfortable or difficult. This doesn't mean simply expressing one's own feelings, but also creating space for the other person to do the same. It means holding space for vulnerability, listening without judgment, and remaining patient while the other person processes their own thoughts and emotions. It's about consistently working to improve communication, to ensure that both individuals in the relationship are understood and that there is clarity about each other's needs. Effort is also required when it comes to maintaining a sense of appreciation and gratitude within the relationship. Over time, it is easy for people to take each other for granted. The excitement of the early stages of a relationship can fade, and the routines of everyday life can overshadow the affection that once felt so natural. However, love requires that we continue to express gratitude and appreciation, even when the initial excitement has faded. Simple acts of kindness, like acknowledging your partner's efforts, telling them you love them, or doing something thoughtful for them, go a long way in maintaining the strength of a relationship. Appreciation and gratitude are not just about grand gestures, but about the small things. Being mindful of how your partner contributes to the relationship and expressing thanks for those contributions. When love requires effort, it often shows up in these seemingly minor but incredibly important acts of kindness and recognition. A partner who feels appreciated is far more likely to feel loved, valued, and respected. Another critical element of love requiring active effort is the commitment to personal growth, both as an individual and as a couple. Relationships do not exist in a vacuum. They are influenced by the personal growth of each individual involved. A relationship can only grow to the extent that the people in it are willing to grow. This means taking the time to develop one's emotional intelligence, improving personal communication skills, or addressing individual weaknesses and vulnerabilities. When both individuals are committed to their own growth, it strengthens the relationship, as each person becomes more capable of contributing to the relationship in healthy and positive ways. Growth is not always easy. It requires vulnerability and the willingness to face uncomfortable truths about oneself. But when both partners are engaged in this effort, it becomes easier to navigate the challenges of the relationship and to create a deeper, more meaningful connection. It's essential to recognize that love doesn't always come easily or naturally. There will be moments of difficulty, moments of doubt, and times when the love between two people is tested. But in those moments, love requires a choice. The choice to stay, to work through the challenges, and to keep fighting for the relationship. Relationships are not static. They require constant attention, care, and effort from both parties involved. It is through this effort that love grows, strengthens, and becomes something that lasts. The effort that love requires is not about perfection. It's not about being flawless or never making mistakes. Instead, it is about showing up, being present, and working together to create something beautiful. Love is not defined by grand gestures, but by the everyday actions that demonstrate care, commitment, and a willingness to grow together. Whether it's providing emotional support during difficult times, taking responsibility for one's mistakes, or simply making time to enjoy each other's company, these daily efforts are what make love real and enduring. Furthermore, love requires active effort in prioritizing the relationship, making time for it despite the busyness of life, and not allowing it to be overshadowed by other responsibilities or distractions. In modern society, it is easy to become consumed by work, social obligations, or other commitments. But true love requires that both partners intentionally carve out time for one another, ensuring that the relationship remains a top priority in their lives. When we say love requires active effort, we are acknowledging the truth that love is not a passive experience. It's not something that happens to us without any input. Instead, love is an ongoing process, a choice that is made every day through actions, decisions, and intentions. True love is an investment, a commitment to putting in the work necessary to build something lasting, meaningful, and fulfilling. This active effort is not always easy, and there will be times when it feels exhausting or overwhelming. However, the reward of a deep, fulfilling relationship is worth every ounce of effort. It is through this active engagement that love becomes something that not only sustains us through life's challenges, but also brings us joy, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose. Love, in its truest form, is not something that just happens to us. It is something we create, build, and nurture through consistent, conscious effort. Sacrifice and selflessness are foundational pillars that shape the very structure of any meaningful relationship. These qualities represent the willingness to give something of yourself for the well-being of another, and they are integral to the depth and endurance of love. In a world often centered around individualism, the practice of sacrifice and selflessness can feel counterintuitive. Yet it is in these acts, often small and unnoticed, that the truest forms of connection are formed. When two people choose to share their lives together, to be bound by a deep commitment, there comes a time when both must place the needs of the relationship above their own desires, ambitions, or comfort. The act of sacrifice in love is not about denying one's identity, but about weaving it together with another in a way that honors the shared journey. To understand how sacrifice and selflessness strengthen bonds, we must first examine what sacrifice truly means in the context of a relationship. At its core, sacrifice involves giving up something valuable, whether it be time, energy, material resources, or even personal desires, for the benefit of another. It is a choice to prioritize the happiness, security, or growth of a partner, often at the expense of personal gain. This act of giving is not done out of obligation or resentment, but out of love and respect for the other person. Sacrifice is about putting someone else's needs first, not because it diminishes you, but because you recognize the inherent value in supporting each other. When both partners are committed to giving to each other and putting the needs of the relationship first, they create an environment where both individuals feel equally invested. This shared responsibility eliminates the tendency to place blame or expectation on one person and promotes a partnership based on equality and mutual respect. Each person takes ownership of the relationship and works toward the common goal of building a strong, loving connection. As with any aspect of life, sacrifice and selflessness must be balanced with healthy communication and mutual respect. The act of sacrificing for someone should never lead to feelings of resentment, nor should selflessness be taken for granted. Both partners must be willing to openly discuss their needs, boundaries, and feelings to ensure that neither person feels exploited or neglected. Sacrifice becomes meaningful when both people are aware of the sacrifices being made and express gratitude for the love and care they receive. Mutual appreciation is crucial to ensuring that acts of sacrifice and selflessness are seen as expressions of love rather than obligations. As relationships progress, the sacrifices and acts of selflessness that once felt challenging may become second nature. The more time spent nurturing a relationship through these actions, the more they become woven into the fabric of the partnership. Over time, both partners learn to anticipate each other's needs and act with empathy and care without needing to be asked. They learn to reflect and honor the other person's emotions and assist each other in deeper and more meaningful connections. The small, everyday sacrifices create a relationship that is resilient to external challenges and capable of enduring the inevitable ups and downs that life brings. When sacrifice and selflessness are present, relationships are not just about two individuals coexisting. They become a shared experience, an ongoing journey of growth, support, and love. The more both people invest in the other, the stronger the bond becomes. The acts of giving and caring enrich the relationship in ways that cannot be quantified, leading to a deep, unbreakable connection. In relationships where sacrifice and selflessness are practiced, both individuals grow together, bound not just by love, but by a mutual commitment to each other's happiness and well-being. Faithfulness and consistency are two qualities that play an essential role in the foundation of any lasting relationship. They are the bedrock on which trust is built, and without trust, any relationship, whether romantic, familiar, or professional, struggles to flourish. Faithfulness is often seen as a commitment to remain loyal to someone or something, and consistency is the ability to maintain certain behaviors, actions, and attitudes over time. When these two elements are present in a relationship, they provide a sense of security, stability, and assurance that the relationship is strong and reliable. Faithfulness is often thought of in the context of romantic relationships, where it refers to the commitment between two partners to remain dedicated and loyal to one another, regardless of external circumstances or challenges. It implies that despite the trials and temptations that may come their way, the individuals involved will continue to choose each other, mentally, emotionally, and physically. However, faithfulness is not just about refraining from infidelity. It also encompasses being emotionally present, honoring promises, and maintaining the integrity of the bond shared with one's partner. When faithfulness is present, it becomes a cornerstone of the relationship, reinforcing the notion that both individuals are in this together. They have chosen each other, not just in moments of ease, but in moments of hardship as well. Faithfulness represents a deep-seated commitment that goes beyond the fleeting passions of the early stages of a relationship. It's the choice to remain by each other's side through thick and thin, to provide support when needed, and to make sacrifices for the good of the relationship. This type of dedication doesn't just protect the relationship from outside forces, but also from the internal doubts and insecurities that naturally arise as life progresses. Consistency, on the other hand, is the regularity with which individuals demonstrate their faithfulness. While faithfulness might be a commitment made in a moment of clarity or conviction, consistency is the ongoing practice of upholding that commitment day after day. It's the small, seemingly inconsequential actions that, over time, accumulate into a strong sense of reliability. End footnote. Consistency is shown through everyday actions, being there when needed, following through on promises, communicating regularly, and offering love and support in both big and small ways. Most psychological research and science finds that normalizing behavior in these areas is most effective, which improves social relationships, lowers the risk of violence, and proliferates in all areas of life. Consistency also extends to the emotional realm. When someone is consistently supportive, patient, kind, and understanding, it creates an environment where the other person feels valued, seen, and respected. The reliability of consistent behavior fosters trust because it proves that the person can be counted on, regardless of the circumstances. In relationships, consistency and emotional support is just as crucial as physical presence. It means being attuned to the other person's feelings, being emotionally available, and responding in a way that shows care and understanding. All of this is crucial in even the most micro contacts that I call. Faithfulness and consistency are often tested during difficult times. When life is smooth and things are going according to plan, it's relatively easy to maintain a sense of loyalty and follow through on promises. However, during times of conflict, stress, or uncertainty, faithfulness and consistency are put to the test. These challenges reveal the true nature of the bond between two individuals. Will they remain committed to each other when life becomes difficult? Or will they falter? Will they choose to continue showing up for one another when it's not easy? Or will they drift apart? It's during these times that faithfulness becomes an anchor. When life throws challenges at a couple, whether that's financial struggles, health issues, or personal losses, the faithful partner chooses to remain by the other's side, offering love and support even when things are difficult. This loyalty is not based on what's convenient or comfortable, but on a deep commitment to the relationship and the person they love. And gentle, degraded commitment to the love for loss has a much stronger impact. This faithfulness provides a sense of stability that can help both partners navigate through life's most challenging moments. 7. Consistency, too, plays a crucial role in this. When things are tough, it's easy to become overwhelmed or discouraged. However, consistency provides a sense of continuity and reassurance. Knowing that a partner will consistently show up, offer comfort, and make an effort to stay connected helps to maintain a sense of security. When two people in a relationship can rely on each other's consistency, whether it's in terms of communication, actions, or emotional support, it builds a solid foundation of trust that can weather any storm. Trust, after all, is the result of faithfulness and consistency. When we talk about trust, we're referring to the belief that someone will act in ways that are reliable, dependable, and honest. Trust is built through actions that demonstrate commitment and consistency. When someone is consistently faithful to their partner, that person feels safe in the relationship, knowing that they can rely on their partner to be there for them. Trust grows when one partner repeatedly shows that they are dependable and steadfast in their actions and words. For example, when a partner consistently keeps their promises, whether big or small, it builds trust. If someone says they will be home at a certain time or follow through with a plan and they consistently do so, the other partner learns to trust that their words can be counted on. This may seem like a small thing, but when trust is built through consistent small actions, it creates an environment where both people feel secure in the relationship. Consistency also means that both partners understand what they can expect from each other, even during times of stress or conflict. When consistency is present, it means that neither person needs to wonder if the other will show up when they are needed most. They don't need to second guess whether their partner is still loyal or committed. Consistency in actions, words, and behaviors creates a sense of predictability that fosters emotional safety and security. Furthermore, faithfulness and consistency in a relationship are deeply intertwined with emotional and physical intimacy. When trust is established through faithfulness and consistency, it creates a safe space for both partners to be vulnerable with each other. Vulnerability requires trust, and when both individuals know they can rely on each other to be present, supportive, and consistent, they are more likely to open up emotionally and deepen their connection. This sense of safety encourages both people to express their true selves, share their fears and dreams, and be open to one another in ways that would not be possible without trust. The role of faithfulness and consistency extends to both partners in the relationship. Trust cannot be one-sided. If only one person remains faithful and consistent, the relationship becomes imbalanced, and trust cannot be fully developed. Both partners must be equally committed to showing up for each other, being faithful in their words and actions, and maintaining a consistent presence in the relationship. When both individuals are equally invested in maintaining trust, the relationship becomes stronger and more resilient over time. Moreover, the impact of faithfulness and consistency reaches beyond the relationship itself. It creates a positive feedback loop where both partners feel more confident in the relationship and in turn are more likely to act in ways that foster further trust. When people feel safe and secure, they are more likely to be compassionate, patient, and understanding toward their partner, which only serves to strengthen the bond. This reinforces the commitment both people have to each other and further solidifies the relationship's foundation. Another important aspect of faithfulness and consistency is the role they play in preventing the erosion of trust. In many relationships, trust is slowly eroded over time due to inconsistencies in behavior, dishonesty, or the failure to follow through on promises. However, when faithfulness and consistency are prioritized, trust is built steadily and remains intact even during times of difficulty. Faithfulness acts as a shield against the external pressures and distractions that can harm the relationship, while consistency ensures that trust is not easily undermined by minor setbacks or challenges. The consistency that faithfulness brings is also critical in maintaining a sense of emotional balance. It creates a rhythm in the relationship, an understanding that both partners are equally committed to the connection. When both individuals work to remain faithful and consistent, the relationship has a steady flow that allows both partners to feel secure in each other's intentions. Number 6, peaceful management of the relationship. The well-defined rules and regulations that minimize stress and conflict. This consistent rhythm creates a stable environment in which both people can thrive, both individually and as a couple. Ultimately, faithfulness and consistency are not just about preventing negative outcomes like betrayal or disconnection. They are about creating a relationship that flourishes, one where both partners feel confident, supported, and valued. Trust that is built through faithfulness and consistency nurtures the growth of the relationship, allowing both people to feel safe enough to dream, take risks, and grow together. It allows love to deepen, challenges to be overcome, and new chapters of the relationship to unfold with a sense of assurance and mutual respect. In relationships where faithfulness and consistency are present, both partners can rely on the strength of their connection, knowing that they have chosen to commit to each other, to remain loyal, and to consistently show up for one another. It's these small yet powerful acts of consistency, rooted in faithfulness, that transform a relationship from a temporary bond to a lifelong partnership. Trust is not built in a day, it's built slowly over time through repeated actions that demonstrate loyalty, dependability, and a deep commitment to the relationship. Ethos. Loyalty provides a pathway for a relationship to thrive. It also creates the expectation that will be treated fairly.